Hey guys, Mapletail here. Welcome to part 6 of my AU OC challenge. The art challenge where I draw my original characters into each other's worlds with all new designs. Today's fandom is Pokémon. Let's get into it. Now, in the first 5 parts of this challenge, I would draw my various OCs into the world of the fandom I was focusing on that video, and then draw the OC from that fandom into all the other OCs' worlds. But today we're dialing it back a little bit for a couple of reasons. For this drawing, I've decided just to focus on the part where I draw Pokemon trainer versions of all my characters. With every new character added to the series, I have more and more drawing to do each time, and it's starting to be a little bit too much work. This way I just get to focus on the one world that is usually a current hyperfixation, instead of always looking back and often having to boot up a bunch of games to make myself reference images. This is meant to be for fun, so let's just focus on the most fun part. It'll also encourage me to do this for more fandoms, as it's a little less of a whole process. Alright. So the drawing. I started by assigning all my characters 2 types and 6 Pokemon that I associate with them, including a starter and evolution each. I just really like the EVs. And it happened to work out well for how many characters I was drawing. What I just said about feeling overwhelmed about the amount of prep work these videos require does not apply when it's a current hyperfixation. So no problem. Let's take it from the top. Xavia is up first. She is my Pokemon trainer Sona. Since Legends ZA is the most recent Pokemon game I've played, we're going with her in-game appearance from there. I also used the game's character creator to choose hairstyles and eye colors for all of today's OCs. We'll get into that later. I am a lover of dark and fire type Pokemon, so Xavia was always going to be a dark fire trainer. As for her team, her starter would be Delphox. As being from Kalos, it was her and my very first Pokemon. Her evolution is Vaporeon, my favorite of the group. Then she has a whole squad of babies: Hisuian, Zorua, Vulpix, and Dratini. I didn't choose pre-evolutions for anyone else, but I have a lot of sentimental attachment to these guys. I collected Pokemon cards as a kid, and my Vulpix and Dratini cards were my absolute favorites. As for Zorua, I'm a big shiny hunter, and the hunt I did for an accidentally alpha shiny Hisuian Zorua is one of my proudest moments in Pokemon. I could not bring myself to evolve that little cutie. As for Xavia's ace Pokemon, it had to be Absol, my all-time favorite. Once I started this drawing, I got the idea to use each trainer's ace Pokemon as inspiration for their outfit designs, so Xavia's shirt and jacket are based on Absol, using some elements of their shiny and mega forms too. I liked this fit well enough, but I definitely got way more into the outfit designing as I went, as you'll soon see. So let's move on to our next OC, and our first proper new design, Mapletail, my Warrior Cat's OC. I tend to draw her human form with bangs and some kind of tied up hair, so I went with pigtails here in red/dark red, and turquoise for her eyes. As a RiverClan warrior, Mapletail would be a water psychic type trainer. Water for obvious reasons, and psychic felt pretty in line with the more supernatural or spiritual side of warriors. Also, the color scheme felt right for her. For her team, which let me say has little to do with what types I associate with her, that'll be a bit of a theme this video. I originally chose a different starter Pokemon for her, but I realized I had absolutely chosen wrong when writing this video. She would definitely have a Meowscarada. I mean, I've literally drawn her as a Sprigatito before, so I don't know what I was thinking trying to give her Snivy. Her Eevee is Glaceon, water-ish vibes, and more of the color I associate with Mapletail. Then I gave her Delcatty, because cat, Milotic for the water typing, colors, and general vibes, and Alcremie, apparently, because cream is kind of associated with cats, I guess. I can't really remember, to be honest, but I do love this Pokemon. And it's kind of on theme with her ace, and outfit inspiration, Tatsugiri. I knew I wanted to give her some kind of fish Pokemon, and I just really love this little sushi guy. This is where I started to really have fun with the outfits, giving her a swimsuit, shawl, and arm bracers in the color of all of Tatsugiri's forms. Also some cute little tail fin earrings. It was also around here I realized it would have been perfect to have these 8 OCs be dual-type gym leaders to a region of my own. So, real quick, let's give Mapletail a proper water psychic team, as though she were a gym leader, just for fun. She can keep Milotic and Tatsugiri, and I'll give her Wishy-Washy, as they're super cute. And its school form is giving Starry Sky vibes. Starmie, as it's a water psychic type, and keeps with the star theming that Warriors uses. Malamar, for being a psychic type that looks like a water type. And Musharna, as I've never used it, but it's got my vibes. Before we move on, I guess I ought to give Xavia a Dark Fire gym team too. She can keep Absol, Delphox, evolve Vulpix into Ninetales, swap out Hisui and Zorua for a regular Zoroark, and I'll give her Houndoom for the dual typing and Scrafty as I have a real soft spot for them. Next OC, Nyx, the D&D-esque kitty I used to play various board games with. I have her with this half tied up hair in black and gold, and the starry eyes, to reference the wizard wand she'd usually carry. I tried to have a real variety with the typings I gave each character, but I did allow for repeats of Xavia's types, as I really wanted to use fire and dark elsewhere. And by elsewhere, I mean right here. Nyx is a ghost fire trainer. I wanted her to have a purple typing, and ghosts fit decently with her magical vibes. And fire worked perfect with the sun or light-based magic she often uses across worlds. For her team, I gave her the starter of Incineroar. A fire cat felt a little too perfect to pass up, even if I'm really not a fan of that final evolution. I am very much on the team of wanting to keep the fire starters on 4 legs a little more often. Her Eevee is Espeon, again, very magic cat, and a nice purple. Then she got Solrock, as in her story her magic comes from the sun, per ugly, cat, and Meowstic, magic cat. Her ace is Mismagius, as I wanted to make sure it was a ghost type, and the two share a lot of visual similarities. It was very easy to turn this Pokemon into a fitting outfit for Nyx. A wizardy cloak and gloves with the magic gems adorning her shirt and hands. And now, since I'm apparently doing this for everyone, her Ghost Fire gym team. She can keep Mismagius and Incineroar, and let's give her Pumpkaboo, cat, Bayonet, vibes, and I just wanted another ghost type, Chandelure, and Ceruledge, for both being fire ghost types. On to the next, Adara. An OC from my original story, The Blue Kingdom. I gave her a bun and long bangs in black and violet, with light blue for her eyes. While she usually only has one hair color, I love Pokemon ZA's ability to give the colored streaks way too much, to not use it at every opportunity. As an assassin in her story, with a black and light blue color scheme, dark flying felt right for her typing. For her team, I was inspired by the themes of her character, story, and home, including big cats, it's always cats with me, the pine woods, and a general nighttime and stealthy vibe. Her starter is Hisuian Samurott for its cool appearance and dark typing, as well as Adara having some themes of water in her story, though not enough to justify making her a water trainer over Mapletail. Her Eevee would be Umbreon. Look at us actually staying on type for once. Then she has Liepard and Pyroar, big cats, Trevenant for her home in a pine forest village, while her ace is Thievul. A dark type with roguish vibes? Perfect. It also made for my favorite outfit of this video. It's simple, but I think pretty effective, with a white shirt like Thievul's underbelly, and an orange jacket with a dark fluffy collar. Wow, I literally didn't give her a single flying type, huh? Let's fix that with her dark flying gym team. She can keep Thievul, Hisuian Samurott, Umbreon, Liepard, and let's add Honchkrow and Noctowl for the flying types. Next OC, Starloom, my Wild Frost OC. She lets her hair down in pale pink and peach, getting lime for her eyes. As a warrior traveling through the freezing lands in her story, she's an ice fighting trainer all the way. Her team would include Decidueye for her starter. As an archer herself, it only made sense. Flareon for her Eevee, as her story may be filled with ice, but her goal is to return the heat of the sun to the lands. The rest of her team is Frostlass, Weirdeer, as she used to wear an antlered mask, and Winter Sawsbuck, combining her ice and deer theming. Well, her ace is Frostmoth. I would have liked to use either of the deer Pokemon, but since neither are ice or fighting, I looked elsewhere, landing on Frostmoth for its solid wintry vibes and elegant appearance. It made for a fun outfit inspiration too. A fluffy white collar and blue gemstone necklace atop a glamorous dress, playing with transparency and flowy elements. This looks to be another set of Pokemon, which I completely ignored one of the typings. So let's make a proper ice fighting gym team for Starloom. She keeps Frostmoth and Frostlass, and gains Alolan Sandslash and Alolan Ninetales for their fighting and mystical vibes respectively, Sneasler for it being a fighting type found in an icy landscape, and Mienshao for their cat vibes to match with Starloom's newer cat mask. Up next is December, my Baldur's Gate 3 OC. Their hair is the closest to their original look, with a ponytail in passion pink and orange, with eyes of lavender. December is a druid, which just screamed the typings of fairy and grass to me. It also helps that I associate them with the color pink. Their team continues with themes of pink, nature, and magic, and is the most consistent with the trainer's typings out of everyone. Their starter is Superior, after I swapped out Meowscarada to Mapletail, while their Eevee is Sylveon. All grass and fairies so far. Then we have Breloom for December's mushroom-filled home of the Underdark, Sableye for the crystals alongside those mushrooms, and I wanted some purple somewhere, and Aromatisse, who I recently fell in love with and felt on theme. And their ace is Lurantis. Well, not being grass and fairy, it sure looks like it could be, with all those pinks. Felt right for this character. Once I decided to use the ace Pokemon as outfit inspiration, I could not stop thinking about this one. I just love Lurantis' color and patterns. So I went for a pink striped shirt with green underneath, and on the gloves and earrings. White on the sleeves and frills of more pink. I think it turned out pretty cute. So for a grass fairy gym team, we really only need to swap out Sableye. I'd like it to be a fairy type to even things out, so let's go with Carbink, swapping one crystal Pokemon for another. Next up is Aster, my Miitopia OC. Her hair really changes from world to world, so I went with lavender with her purple this time, in a bob and eyes of blue-gray. In Miitopia, she uses the classes of Warrior, Scientist, and Tank, so Steel Poison felt right for her types. Her team sure does match that a tiny bit. Her starter is Emboar, I just think they're neat, and the Scientist class does have some fire vibes. Her Eevee is Leafeon, for reasons, I'm sure. Definitely wasn't just the last one I needed or anything. Well, the rest of her team is Rapidash, for the horse riding mechanic in the game, Hisuian Goodra, which I changed from regular Goodra at the last second, when I remembered that this one was a steel type, and Dragapult, for the dragon in that game, which is also the inspiration for Goodra. And her ace is Aegislash. What's a warrior without a good sword? This outfit was really fun too, using the Pokemon's arms as inspiration for a scarf, and its shield as a pauldron. Well, the shirt and its cutout was meant to represent the sword-like shape. Alright, we've got a lot of work to do for her Steel Poison gym. She can keep Aegislash and Hisuian Goodra, and gain Berserker and Nidoking for their warrior vibes, Toxapeck for reminding me of a tank, and Weezing. I had to pick a science vibe to round this one out. Last but not least, Prinia, my Fire Emblem OC. Her hair cut short in violet and dark red, and her eyes also in violet. Electric Dragon was an easy typing for her, with all the dragons in Fire Emblem and Prinia's affinity for lightning magic. The colors also working really well. For her team, I also used some of her characters' theming around fire, flight, and general spooky magic. Her Pokemon are even decently on type, her starter being Hisuian Typhlosion for its spooky fire vibes, and even more fitting colors. Her Eevee is Jolteon, as I made sure to save her the electric one. The rest of her team is Flygon, a dragonfly-like dragon, gets bonus dragon points, Galvantula, More good spooky vibes, and I just really adore this guy. And Corviknight. Okay, this is maybe a bit of a weird one, but it makes perfect sense to me. It's because of Pre-Evo's name of Rookity. I've always associated this Pokemon with the rook piece in chess, and Fire Emblem is basically fantasy chess, if you really squint. I absolutely would have picked Corviknight as Purnia's ace if the typing matched up better. So I went with a different dark-colored bird, the electric Kilowattrel. It ended up giving the outfit real superhero vibes, which wasn't intentional, but I think it looks pretty cool. Earrings inspired by the tail feathers, and a beak-like amulet atop of a skin-tight outfit in jagged black and yellow. For our final gym team, Electric and Dragon, she can keep Kilowattrel, Jolteon, Flygon, and Galvantula, and let's give her a couple more dragons. Ampharos for its Megaforms typing, and Altaria for being the most bird-like, for Purnia's namesake. And that's that. Thanks for watching. This was such a fun one. I'm glad I simplified the challenge a little bit so I could really dive into these designs and all the Pokemon I associate with these characters. Twice as many as I meant to, but I had a lot of fun with it. I've already decided on the next fandom I'll be focusing on. It's going to be a goofy one, and I'm so excited. I hope you enjoyed my OC shenanigans, and I'll see you next Thursday.